Have you ever felt caught in an endless loop of suffering? The more you try to justify, the more you explain, the more your words are twisted. The harder you strive to demand truth, self-respect, or justice from those who stir trouble, the more desperate you appear, while they freely evade consequences, unscathed. This is a cruel paradox, an emotional trap many of us have fallen into. But what if Alaric told you there's another path? A path where power lies not in what you say, but in what you choose not to say. A path where the moment you stop explaining, stop chasing after falsehoods, stop reacting to meaningless provocations, that's when an invisible force begins to work on your behalf. This is not magic. This is the wise operation of the universe, of karma, and above all, the ancient wisdom of Stoicism. Imagine a snake trying to bite its own tail. The more it struggles, the more it writhes to free itself, the deeper and more painful the wound becomes. But when the snake chooses to let go of that futile struggle, when it ceases resistance, nature takes over and a profound healing process begins. Or consider an echo in the deep mountains. What you send out, whether words or actions, will eventually return to you. That is precisely how karma operates, and Stoic philosophy refers to it as the natural balance of the cosmos. The lies they sow, the harm they inflict, the negative energy they spread, all will inevitably return to them in time, in ways they never anticipated. This is not vengeance, but an immutable law. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "What stands in the way becomes the way." Meaning, the ill deeds others commit against you, if you don't engage, will become lessons and tools for them to face their own consequences. Because while these instigators are busy provoking, deceiving, manipulating, and trying to drag you into their drama, you possess an ultimate choice, a singular power of control. Fall into their dramatic trap, or take a step back, and with the serene composure of a Stoic philosopher, witness how the universe itself writes the just conclusion. When you choose silence, it is not weakness. It is the pinnacle of self-mastery. That is when the burden of their actions finally falls upon them. That is when the negative energy they generated turns against them. Your silence becomes a powerful mirror, forcing them to confront their own ugly reflection. So, when should you step back and let the universe handle what thousands of words cannot change? When does your silence become the loudest roar? Join Alaric on this journey to discover the 7 golden moments when you should choose silence and let the universe, karma, work for you, because the final lesson will fundamentally shift your entire perspective on power and self-control. Let our journey begin now. Now, we delve into the first situation, one of the most frustrating and infuriating experiences anyone can face. When someone brazenly lies about you, tarnishing your reputation or distorting the truth about who you are, what is our immediate instinct? To rush into battle? To fight for vindication? To prove our innocence? To scream the truth for the whole world to hear? We want everyone to believe us, to see through the deceptive facade of the one who spread the rumors. But here is a harsh reality that Stoic philosophy recognized millennia ago. Your attempts to defend yourself against lies often only fuel more drama, more chaotic spirals. The more you react, the more energy you give to that falsehood, the more you strive to explain, toiling to prove your point, ironically, others begin to question you, even if they had no doubts before. Why? Because when you overreact, they perceive desperation, and desperation can be equated with weakness or guilt. The truth is, some people don't care about what's real or false. They aren't seeking truth. They are seeking a reaction. They want to see you rattled, emotionally agitated, ensnared in a battle where your every move, every word you utter, becomes proof that the lie holds weight. If you engage, you are willingly playing their game on their home turf by their rules. This is precisely where Stoic wisdom shines brilliantly. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, once taught us a golden rule. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. This is the standard you must hold yourself to. Others may lie, others may deceive, others may slander, but their actions do not define you. What defines you is your response. Instead of wasting your breath, wasting your precious energy defending yourself against falsehoods, let time and truth illuminate everything naturally. Because what liars often forget is that lies have an expiration date. They can only thrive in the shadows of doubt and chaos that you inadvertently help create. But truth, on the other hand, is timeless. It doesn't need you to protect it. It doesn't need you to fight for it. Truth possesses an intrinsic power to reveal itself, sooner or later. Let Alaric share an allegorical story with you, one about unwavering resilience. There was a young man named Orion, falsely accused of a serious mistake at his workplace. Rumors spread like wildfire. Colleagues whispered. Some even distanced themselves from him. Orion's initial reaction was to go around explaining, trying to convince each person of his innocence. But then, he realized what Alaric just stated. The more he explained, the more he was doubted. He recalled Epictetus's teaching. The only thing within our control are our own judgments and actions. Orion decided to choose silence. He continued to work diligently, maintained his professionalism, and let his actions speak for themselves. Weeks later, the truth emerged on its own. The person who had spread the rumors had a history of manipulation and deceit. Orion didn't have to prove anything. The truth revealed itself, and because he never engaged in the drama, his reputation remained intact, even earning him greater respect for his composure and integrity. So, how do you handle it when someone lies about you? First, trust in the long game of truth. Lies may spread quickly, but truth endures. Second, focus on your own integrity. If you know who you are, the opinions of those who believe lies cannot impact your core values. And finally, let the universe, let karma do its job. People who lie about others will eventually expose their true nature through their own repetitive behaviors and pattern. You don't need to chase them down. Life will sort it out. Ultimately, your silence is not weakness. It is ultimate control. When someone lies about you, do not lower yourself to their level. Stay grounded. Stay patient. And remember that the truth always comes out, And when it does, you will still possess your dignity fully intact. Now, Alaric will take you to one of life's hardest, most bitter lessons: dealing with betrayal. Whether it's a close friend who suddenly turns their back on you, a business partner who breaks a promise, or someone you deeply trusted who let you down, betrayal always leaves a deeper scar than almost anything else. Our first instinct, once again, is confrontation. We want to demand answers, to seek an apology, or at least make them understand the profound damage they've caused. We crave closure, a logical explanation. But here is the brutal truth that Stoic philosophy illuminated thousands of years ago. Words cannot change the nature of a betrayer. If someone was willing to betray you once, chances are they have already justified their actions in their own minds. They have convinced themselves that what they did was necessary, excusable, or even your fault. No amount of reasoning, no pleading, can change that fundamental reality. If you try to explain, they will twist your words. If you try to make them feel guilty, they will find a way to make you the villain. That is why, sometimes, walking away in silence is the loudest response, the most powerful declaration of your self-respect. This is where Stoic wisdom once again brings clarity. Seneca, one of the great Stoic philosophers, once said, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." In other words, betrayal, however painful, is a harsh but necessary test. It forces you to grow, to strengthen your boundaries, and to recognize who truly deserves a place in your life. The pain you feel is not just suffering. It is a lesson in self-respect, in detachment from what is not yours to control, and in accepting that some people were never meant to stay. It is an opportunity to practice amor fati, loving your fate, embracing all events, even the worst ones, as an indispensable part of your self-development. Let Alaric tell you a story, a testament to the power of letting go. There was a woman named Lyra. She had a best friend for over 10 years. They shared everything: secrets, struggles, and triumphs. But one day, Lyra discovered that this friend had been speaking behind her back, revealing private conversations, and even subtly sabotaging Lyra's career opportunities. Initially, she was furious. Lyra wanted to confront her, to make that friend realize how much damage she had caused. But instead, Lyra chose silence. She didn't argue. She didn't seek revenge. She didn't send long messages filled with frustration. She simply walked away. No explanations, no second chances, no final words. And do you know what happened? The friend felt the silence. She had expected a fight, a dramatic scene, but instead, she received cold indifference. And that silence, it spoke volumes. It was more powerful than any accusation. So, how do you handle betrayal in the Stoic spirit? First, accept that some people will never be who you thought they were. The pain often comes from unrealistic expectations. Let them go. Second, do not waste your breath explaining their wrongdoing to them. They already know. even if they will never admit it. And finally, walk away with dignity. Your silence is not a weakness. It is a powerful statement of inner strength. Ultimately, true power lies in emotional detachment. A betrayer thrives on reaction, on the guilt you might impose on them, on second chances. Do not give them that. Let your silence remind them that you were not the one who lost. You were the one they should have never betrayed in the first place. Because, for a Stoic, the betrayal of others does not diminish your worth, but only illuminates your own value when you choose to stand firm. Now, we confront an inevitable reality of life. Insults, whether it's a biting remark, a backhanded compliment, or a direct attack on your worth, insults are designed for one singular purpose: to provoke you. The moment you react, whether arguing back, defending yourself, or even showing anger, you have given the insulter precisely what they wanted: control over your emotions. Here's the stark truth. Responding to insults only empowers them. When someone deliberately insults you, they are fishing for a reaction. They want to see you upset. They want to feel like they got under your skin. They crave seeing your composure broken. But when you refuse to engage, when you remain calm, unshaken, and indifferent, that is when you win. Because nothing frustrates an insulter more than being completely ignored. Your silence is poison to their satisfaction. This is where Stoic wisdom unleashes its full power. Marcus Aurelius once famously stated, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." Think about that. The moment you lower yourself to their level, you have already lost. If they are being petty, cruel, or disrespectful, why grant them the satisfaction of seeing you stoop to their dirty game? Instead, choose the higher path, the path of silence, of self-mastery, and of unshakable dignity. Alaric wants to share a story with you, a vivid example of this power. There was a man named Calin. At a company event, a colleague, jealous of Calin's recent promotion, deliberately took a jab at him in front of others. Wow, I guess they're handing out promotions to just anyone these days. The room went quiet, waiting for Calin to fire back, perhaps with a sharp retort. But instead, Calin simply smiled. He made direct eye contact with a colleague and said nothing, just silence. No anger, no defense. And do you know what happened? The colleague looked incredibly uncomfortable. He had expected a reaction, perhaps an argument, but instead, he was left standing there, isolated and exposed, while Calin maintained his power and composure. Calin's silence spoke volumes, showing that the words had no weight, no ability to affect him. So, how do you handle people who try to insult you in the Stoic spirit? First, recognize their game. If someone consistently tries to get under your skin, it's not accidental. It's a behavioral pattern. Second, stay calm and emotionally detached. Your silence and indifference will frustrate them far more than any argument ever could. And finally, remember that true strength lies not in reacting, Strength lies in controlling your own mind, in choosing not to be affected by negative words. Ultimately, you cannot control what others say, but you absolutely can control how you respond. And sometimes, the most powerful response is no response at all. Because silence, that is the ultimate proof that their words do not define you. You, and only you, define your own worth. Now, Alaric will take you to one of the most frustrating and unsettling manipulative behaviors you might encounter. When someone plays the victim, you know the type, don't you? They twist the story, conveniently omit their own actions, and make it seem as if they were the ones wronged. No matter what actually happened, what matters to them is how they can gain sympathy, shift blame, and make others see you as the problem. And ironically, the more you try to defend yourself, the more you try to explain, the more you look like the villain in their narrative. Here's the harsh truth. Some people don't want resolution. They want attention. They don't care about honesty. They don't care about fairness. Their goal isn't to fix the situation. It's to control the narrative. And if you engage, if you argue, explain, or try to prove your side, you are playing right into their hands. You are willingly providing them with the audience they crave to continue their drama. This is precisely where Stoic wisdom once again offers invaluable guidance. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, once said, "To complain is always non-productive and never appropriate." This principle applies perfectly here. When someone plays the victim, they are not looking for solutions. They are looking for an audience. Don't be their audience. Let the universe, let karma expose their manipulation. Because the truth, it always comes out. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but eventually, people see patterns. They'll notice how this person always seems to be the victim in every situation. And that's when their theatrical act falls apart. Let Alaric share a story with you. An example of patience and the self-exposing nature of human behavior. There was a woman named Serafina. She had a coworker who constantly played the victim. Whenever Serafina confronted her about something, the coworker would twist the situation and say things like, "I can't believe you'd accuse me of that. I would never hurt anyone." She made sure to cry in front of the right people, making Serafina look like the bad guy. At first, Serafina tried to defend herself. She explained the facts, showed proof, even tried to have a logical conversation. But the more she tried, the worse it got. The coworker thrived on the drama, turning every response from Serafina into more proof that she was being attacked. So, Serafina did something different. She went completely silent. No more defending, no more reacting. She simply let time reveal the truth. And sure enough, it did. Over time, others started noticing the same patterns. The coworker played the victim one too many times, and people stopped believing her. The same manipulative tactics that once worked became obvious, and eventually, her credibility crumbled. So, how do you handle someone who plays the victim in the Stoic spirit? First, don't argue. The more you try to prove yourself, the more you feed their story. Second, stay calm and detached. Let their own behavior expose them. And finally, trust the universe. People who constantly manipulate and twist the truth will always reveal their true nature in time. Ultimately, silence is your power. Let them talk. Let them spin their version of the story. Let them play their game. Because in the end, the truth doesn't need your defense. Time will do that for you. With Stoic wisdom, you know your only control is your own response. And sometimes, no response is the most powerful response. Now, Alaric will guide you through one of life's most painful, yet crucial lessons. When your worth is undervalued, whether in romantic relationships, friendships, or even at work, there comes a moment when you realize that someone isn't truly seeing your intrinsic value. You give, you support, you show up consistently, but instead of appreciation, you receive indifference. Instead of respect, you are taken for granted. What is our natural instinct? To fight for their recognition, to prove our worth, to make them see. But here's the bitter truth that Stoic philosophy constantly reminds us. Begging for recognition, constantly trying to prove yourself, will only diminish your own value. The more you chase acceptance, the less they respect you. People often do not appreciate what is always available. They do not value what they believe they will never lose. And that is why your silence, your absence, is your most potent weapon. When you stop proving, stop chasing, and stop trying to make them see your worth, a powerful shift occurs. Suddenly, they will feel the absence of what they once took for granted. Your silence forces them to confront what they have lost. This is precisely where Stoic wisdom once again brings clarity. Seneca once said, "Time discovers truth." And that is exactly what happens when you walk away with dignity. The truth reveals itself, not through words or arguments, but through absence. Those who genuinely valued you will notice. As for those who didn't, they were never meant to stay in your life. This is also a practice of the dichotomy of control, distinguishing what is within your control and what is not. Your value is within your control. How others perceive it is not. Let Alaric share a story with you, an example of self-valuation. There was a man named Reese. He was always the one making efforts in his relationships, whether with friends or colleagues. He was the person who checked in, who showed up, who made people feel valued. But over time, he noticed something. The effort was one-sided. If he didn't reach out, days, even weeks would pass without a word. If he didn't initiate, no one did. And that's when it hit him. He wasn't being valued. He was merely convenient. So, Reese made a powerful choice. He stopped chasing. No dramatic exits. No angry speeches. Just silence. And do you know what happened? The people who genuinely cared reached out to him. As for those who only saw him as an option, they simply faded away. That was his answer. His absence spoke volumes. So, how do you handle being undervalued in the Stoic spirit? First, stop explaining your worth. Your value doesn't decrease just because someone refuses to see it. Second, step back and observe. The right people won't need reminders to appreciate you. And finally, let time do its work. When you walk away in silence, you give others the opportunity to realize what they've lost. This is a practical lesson in premeditatio malorum, preparing for the worst, including others not recognizing your value, so you are not caught off guard and can maintain your composure. Ultimately, you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. If someone can't see your worth while you're there, let them experience your absence. Because sometimes, the only way people learn to value you is when they no longer have access to you. That is the quiet, yet immensely powerful strength of a Stoic soul. Now, Alaric will take you to one of the most powerful forms of self-control. Not reacting when someone intentionally tries to provoke you. There will always be people who thrive on conflict. They poke, they prod, they say things just to get under your skin, to throw you off balance. And the moment you react, whether it's anger, frustration, or defense, you've given them exactly what they wanted: control over your emotions. Here's the core truth. People who seek conflict aren't looking for resolution. They are looking for a reaction. They want to see you flustered, upset, or out of character. They feed off your emotional energy because it gives them a sense of power. But when you refuse to engage, when you stay calm, collected, and indifferent, that is the ultimate power move. You've stripped away what they craved most. This is precisely where Stoic wisdom comes into magnificent play. Marcus Aurelius once famously said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." You cannot control how others behave. You cannot stop people from trying to provoke you. But you can absolutely control whether or not you let them affect your state of mind. And when you master that, you become untouchable. This is the essence of the dichotomy of control. Control what you can, let go of what you cannot. Alaric wants to share a story, a testament to the power of an unassailable mind. There was a man named Cyrus. He had a coworker who loved stirring up drama. Every meeting, every interaction, this coworker would throw out little jabs, trying to get a rise out of Cyrus. At first, Cyrus would defend himself, argue back, and try to explain. But over time, he realized something. No matter what he said, it only made things worse. So one day, he tried something different. The next time his coworker threw a jab, Cyrus simply smiled, gave a calm nod, and moved on as if the words held no weight. And guess what? The coworker hated it. He kept trying, but without the reaction he wanted, he eventually lost interest. Cyrus won without uttering a single word. So, how do you handle people who try to provoke you in the Stoic spirit? First, recognize their game. If someone consistently tries to get under your skin, it's not an accident. It's a behavioral pattern. Second, stay calm and emotionally detached. Your silence and indifference will frustrate them far more than any argument ever could. And finally, remember that true strength isn't in reacting. Strength lies in controlling your own mind, not allowing others' negativity to penetrate. Ultimately, the strongest person in the room isn't the one who yells the loudest. It's the one who refuses to be controlled by anyone else's negativity. When you ignore those who seek to provoke you, you deny them the satisfaction they crave. And that, my friends, is real power. A power only true Stoic souls truly possess. Finally, Alaric will share one of life's most powerful lessons: walking away and letting someone feel the full weight of their own choices. When someone mistreats you, takes you for granted, or fails to appreciate your value, there comes a moment when they realize what they've lost. But by then, it's already too late. Here's the undeniable truth. If someone truly valued you, they wouldn't have put themselves in a position to lose you in the first place. People don't always recognize your worth when you're there, when you're available, when your presence is consistent. But the moment you're gone, the silence becomes deafening. That's when regret sinks in. That's when they start replaying every mistake, every moment they could have done better. And this is why silence is the best response. You don't need to argue, explain, or remind them of what they lost. Let them sit with the consequences. Let them feel the absence of what they once had but failed to appreciate. Because when you truly walk away with no words, no second chances, no maybe later energy, your absence does all the talking. This is precisely where Stoic wisdom asserts its power. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." That means true strength isn't about controlling others. It's about controlling yourself. It's about having the discipline to walk away from those who didn't value you, and the wisdom to never look back. Because real power isn't in chasing. It's in knowing when to stop giving your energy to people who never deserved it. This is also about practicing self-mastery, not allowing emotions or the desire for vengeance to dictate your actions. Alaric wants to share a story, an example of the power of a dignified departure. There was a woman named Alara. She was in a long-term relationship where she constantly felt unappreciated. She gave everything: her time, her love, her support. But her partner, he took it all for granted. He assumed she'd always be there. Until one day, she wasn't. Alara didn't yell, didn't beg, didn't threaten. She simply left. No dramatic exit, no long explanations. Just silence. At first, her partner thought she was bluffing. But then weeks turned into months, and he realized she was truly gone. By the time he reached out, full of apologies and regret, Alara had already moved on. And that's when he truly felt the loss. So, how do you handle someone who regrets losing you in the Stoic spirit? First, don't give them an easy way back. If they only appreciate you after you're gone, they never truly valued you. Second, don't explain your absence. Let them wonder. And finally, to remember that real self-respect is knowing when to walk away and actually staying gone. Ultimately, the best lesson you can teach someone is that once you're gone, you're gone. If someone regrets losing you, let them. Their regret is not your responsibility. Their lesson is not your burden. Walk away, stay silent, and let the universe do the rest. If you found this video valuable, Hit like and subscribe to Stoic Way with Alaric for more powerful and insightful wisdom. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What situations have you experienced where silence was the most powerful response? Your insights are a great inspiration to our community. Thank you for your support. And Alaric hopes we continue learning together on this Stoic journey. See you in the next video.